All righty. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Cub Scout Resident Camp at Camp Raven Knob 2021 program walkthrough. We thank each of you for joining us here this evening to talk about Cub Scout Resident Camp here at 6 o'clock. Also, just to mention, at 7 o'clock p.m., we will be doing our Scouts BSA Summer Camp updates. So if you're here and you thought you were here for Scouts BSA, just hold on a little while till about 7 and we'll get that going. This one is mainly for Cub Resident Camp. So for those that you don't know, Cub Scout Resident Camp will be held on June 16th through 19th at Raven Knob. That is a Wednesday through Sunday activity. And we are getting really hyped up about our theme this year of pirate adventure. So for those of you that are big pirate fans, we have a pirate fan with our program director, Ash Stimke, ready to rock and roll. I'm just going to go around the room real quick, and our folks will wave to you that are with us. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Hunter Day. I'm the camp director at Raven Knob. We've got with us also Ash Stimke, our program director. We have Adam Moore, who is our assistant camp director and registrar. And we have Nate Todd, who is our registrar far away in Alabama, who helps us with our Tentaroo system. So we welcome you here. And just a couple of things that we want to go over with you. This shouldn't take too long. So just bear with us, and we'll try to be done in about 30 minutes or so as we cruise through this information. If you have any questions, feel free to type those in the chat on YouTube, or if you are not logged into YouTube, which you must be to ask questions, you can submit those to registration@ravennob.com, and they will answer those live here. So be sure to put in some questions if you have any, so we can answer those. First thing we want to talk about is just the program in itself. If you haven't seen yet the Leader's Guide online, the Leader's Guide from 2020 is actually the Leader's Guide for 2021. There's just a couple of small details there that we want to show you guys that is different. So I'm just going to share my screen really quick. All righty. To find all this information, you just go to the Camp Raven Knob website and go here to registration and go down to the Cub Scout Resident Camp tab. All right, and this is where you can find all the information. To find the Leader's Guide, you can click this button here where it says download here, or if you scroll down just a little bit, you will be able to find the file name. Two things that are different on the Leader's Guide, which I have pulled up here. As I mentioned, the Leader's Guide for this year is going to be the same as 2020. So the dates right here are a little different, and the cost went up $5. And you can see that indicated here. It was at $150 and is now at $155, with the leader fee being the same at $75, as well as Den Chiefs. So be sure to check out this Leader's Guide, as it will explain the entire program and what activities you will be able to sign up for in the Tentaroo system on March 15th as things become open. So I'm not going to go through and read this entire book to you. You guys have that ability to go in and check that out, print it off for your viewing pleasure at any point in time if you have any questions. So be sure to go check that out. All right, just a couple of things we want to mention when I remove that is how the program works for our Cub Scouts. For our wolf and our bear programs, those programs are already set for wolves and bears. You do not get to choose different options. And so when you go into Tentaroo, as we will here in just a little while, when Nate walks us through that program and how Tentaroo works, when you sign up your wolf and bears, you will just select the wolf program or the bear program. And and that's how that works. But with Arrow of Lights and with Weeblo Scouts, they actually have options that they can choose from for their sessions. The biggest thing to make sure that you notice is that you are signing up an Arrow of Light for an Arrow of Light session and a Weeblo Scout for a Weeblo session. Don't sign a Weeblo up for an Arrow of Light session or vice versa. So be sure to make sure you're keeping everything squared away. You can see all of those selections and options in the Tentaroo registration system, as well in the Cub Scout Leader's Guide. I just want to mention real quick before we get on to the registration part, we want to talk to you about COVID-19 and its effects on what we're dealing with this summer. As many of you are aware, we were not able to have Cub Scout Resident Camp as we were still in the planning process of trying to figure out how camp would operate and how we would function through that. And so we want to make sure that you folks are as up to date as possible what's going on with COVID-19 and keeping you fresh on that information. So if you go, I'm just going to share my screen one more time. If you go back to ravenknob.com and click on this COVID-19 tab, all right, you'll see a Cub Scout Resident tab here. So if you click on that, all right, it's going to tell you we're excited to reintroduce Cub Scout Resident Camp for 2021, and stay tuned. But here are our policies and procedures. So essentially, it's just redirecting you back to the COVID-19 page and looking at our policies and procedures that we have in place. The biggest thing that we want to indicate is when you come to camp, we want you to stay at camp. We don't want you coming and going. The pre-screening process, you will be screened at the gate at Camp Raven Knob once you enter at the maintenance facility. Anybody with a 100-degree or higher temperature will be isolated. If the person continues to read that they are over 100 degrees, the entire van or car that they arrived in will be sent home as part of a precaution that we have in place. You will also have to provide a at-risk form that many of you may have been familiar with the Fall Adventure weekends in October. There will be an at-risk form that you'll need to provide, and we will be sure to share that with you all and email that to you constantly prior to your trip to camp. So again, just to mention, your leadership and kids, we want to stay in camp the entire time as you are there. At the top of this page, there was a video, a short YouTube video that Adam and a couple staff members from 2020 put together on how a lot of our policies and procedures will work. Please watch that, as it'll give you a great understanding of what we did last summer and what we will be doing this summer when it comes to the dining hall, campfires, trading post, our sessions, and things like that. So be sure to watch that. And so just take a moment to read through some of these things of the precautions, procedures, policies, everything that we have in place as far as COVID-19 sanitation. We sanitize all of our programmed areas, dining hall, bathroom facilities on a daily basis. And each weekend before you arrive and after you leave, everything will be sanitized as well. So there's not a few things in here. There are a few things in here that do not necessarily pertain to Cub Resident Camp, but this is going to give you the greatest understanding on how it will operate. And if you have any questions as far as how COVID-19 will work, please share that with myself, and feel free to email me. And we'll have my email posted here shortly at the bottom. All righty. At this point, we're going to look into our Tentaroo system with Nate Todd. So Nate, I'm going to share your screen here.
Perfect. Awesome.
And there you go.
Thanks, Hunter. So everyone that has been to camp with us before, if you're an Old Hickory Council troop or an out of council troop, you already have an account with us. So please don't create one if you don't know your login information, or you have a new Cub Master or a Pack Master. Or whatever the correct term is. I'm sorry. Whichever one of those you have. If you have a new leader, don't create a new account. Just email Hunter or registration@ravenknob.com, and we will pull up your account. We're trying to keep all these extra accounts from being created, so please email us directly, and we will give you your information. So when you log in, you can log in through ravenknob.com or oldhickorycouncil.org. Either of those websites will work. The login page will be at the top right corner. So you can log in from either of those. So when you go to your account, you'll log in. It'll look just like this. You will not see this admin section. That's for us. But it'll show your pack up here and all this stuff. So the important thing is you'll go over here to manage your group. This is where you'll add names of people. So we can go in and add Hunter Day. This stuff that says optional will be listed optional, but you might have to fix it for the event itself, which it will tell you. So anyway, so you can go back to your home tab, and all the stuff you need is right here. Manage your profile. This is where you would update your password. So if you're the new contact, you'll update your password. We also ask that you go down to primary contact. And if you're the contact, make sure you update this so that whenever we send out emails, they go to the correct email address. This email address right here under primary contact is who gets the information that we send. So make sure that you update your profile, which is done from the manage profile section here. All right, so next up, so we're going to register for the event. If you've talked to Hunter and Hunter already knows that you're coming, he's probably pre-registered you for the event and he just put you in there. But if you've not talked to him, it's really simple for you to do it yourself. So on the home screen, when you're here, you're going to hit events and you're going to see all upcoming, and you will see one that says Cub Scout Resident Summer Camp, and it'll say registration opens March 15th at 8 a.m. So you'll click that. And then we're going to click current, and then we're going to hit register for event. This right here will also take you to the website, which is ravenknob.com, and the leader's guide. So you can see the pricing and stuff are going to be listed here. All the classes are listed here as well, which you'll see those in a little bit. So we're going to register. So click register for event. Here you need to tell us how many youth you're bringing. So let's say we're going to bring 10 scouts, and then we're going to have 5 adults, and we're going to have 1 den chief. There will only be 1 den chief per group, so don't put in 2 den chiefs. Den chiefs are treated just like a leader from the scout troop, so we only allow for 1 of those to come at a time. So please honor that request. All right, and then you're going to hit next. You don't have to fill out any of this because it should already be carried over. If you needed to leave us some items to let us know about any specific request, you could leave those here and we would see those, but those are all optional items. Then you hit next. All right, you can select your preference of a campsite, but we're not guaranteed that. So you'll be able to select a preference, but we will assign the campsites based on groups and numbers. So you'll be able to see a preference and select it, but just hear that we're going to do our best to get you in one of those selections, but it ultimately comes down to the number of people you're bringing, and how Hunter has to lay out the camp based on COVID and everything like that. So we'll do our best to honor requests as we do as much as possible, but just know that you might not get your primary or secondary, but you're more than likely to get one of the top 3. So you can select those, then you're hit next. If you just want to leave it blank, we'll assign it. All right. The fee, Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, the fee that you need to pay by April, is it 27th? If you can look that up for me, it's in the Cub Scout Leaders Guide. Is 75. Say that again.
It's 25th, and I think it's $50 per scout.
Yep. So it's April 25th, and you'll need to pay $50 per scout by April 25th. You can go and pay that up front if you want to. So we're just going to pretend that we're paying $500. Actually, you would put in how much you're going to pay here. I'm going to mark 0 so it doesn't throw off our accounting. And then you'll hit complete. All right. Now you'll notice here when you go in, you see this bright red box that says there are changes on payments for the event in your cart. Please remember to check out to finalize your changes. Anytime you make changes in the system, you have to check out just like you would with Amazon or anything like that before it locks those in. So up here is your cart. So it's in the top right corner. You can see there's 1 change, or you can hit checkout here at the bottom. So we're going to hit checkout, and then we're going to place order, and then we're set. So now we are registered for the event. So it shows here, you'll see how much your balance is when your registration opens, which is on the 15th at 8. And then right here, this shows like a ticket with a 0/16. What that's showing is that you have 16 spots, but right now you have 0 people registered in those spots. So we're going to go now and do that. So you'll click on session 1, 2021. You'll see down here registration, we have 10 spots and 5 adults, 1 leader. And we're going to, under that, we're going to have participants. So we're going to go ahead and add a participant. So we're going to do Nate Todd. phone number, and then here we need their rank as of 6/16/2021. If they have any serious allergies or anything like that, and lastly, emergency contact information, we need that. We're going to register them for the youth type. So the reason this shows up is when, and you'll see in a second, when we do adults, it'll show up as either a den chief or an adult because they're kind of technically the same adult type program. So that's why you'll see but for youth, for scouts, you just click next. You don't have anything to do here. All right, now we're going to register for sessions. Now, I'm going to do this 2 ways to show you, and then we'll fix this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to search here for wolf. So if you type in wolf, it will show our wolf program. So you're going to hit add option. And you'll see that has the wolf programs here, and then we're going to hit next. And he is registered for wolf. Nate's registered for wolf. All right. And you'll see up in the card, it's got 2 changes. So that means we made the changes. We're going to go back in here and we're going to add another one. We're going to put Josh. And he's nothing here. He's going to be arrow of light. So wolf and bear only have 1 option. So wolf and bear, 1 option. Webelos and arrow of light have multiple options. The one thing we request is that if you're registering a Webelo or an arrow of light, you select only the classes that are in that program. So for example, Webelos, make sure you have 4 Webelos options, not Webelo, arrow of light, Webelo. All Webelos, and if it's arrow of light, all arrow of light. We will go in and change them if they're not registered correctly because they need to be following the programs that they're in. So just please help us out. So for this example, I'm going to register arrow of light. So we're going to do art explosion in 1. And you'll notice it takes out all the other options in session 1. So we're going to do earth rocks in 2. We're going to do build a better world in 3. And then lastly, we're going to do game design. So you'll see over here, we have all these. Now you won't see this in the center screen. That won't be there for you. That's just for our admin team. Then you hit next and we're going to pay 0 and then you hit complete. Perfect. All right, lastly, we're going to go in and add our den chief. And so that's going to be, you're going to see here, there's no youth in this account to choose from, but there's an adult. So we're going to hit Hunter. And then he's a guy, you need to add large. And you see it'll tell you what it needs. If you're missing something, it'll show you in red what it needs. All right, and then you'll hit next. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to register him for an adult spot or a den chief spot? So that's why I was telling you need to select which one for adults. So we're just going to register Hunter as an adult. You click that and you'll see it'll turn orange. You hit next. And then there's no options for you guys for adults. And then you hit complete. All right, so now we've got all of our kids registered and we're ready to check out. So you'll come into our program here and you'll hit checkout. If you see a green shopping cart around items, that means those have not been locked in yet. So you want to check out by either checking out here or up in the top right corner before those items get locked in. So when we check out, we're going to hit place order. I'm actually not going to hit it right now because I don't want to lock those test items into the event. But that's how you would go through and do that. So the important items to remember is that you can pre-register before registration opens by managing your group and adding them all here. And then once registration opens, you can go in and add them. Once you register for events, it'll show up on your home screen. And then whenever you need to see anything, like if you need to print a report, you can click reports and you can print your invoice, roster, schedule, all these items here. So Hunter, Ash, Adam, can you think of any questions or were there any questions asked?
So Chris was asking a really great question about if families can go online and do this individually or if this should be done by a person. And so we've responded to him, but that is a really great question. highly discourage giving your login information to families.
Yes.
It is best to have, one or two people, maybe the Cub Master and a den leader or whomever is handling the registration, to go online and to enter in the payments, enter in the names and the schedules and everything, and just allow the scouts to choose them, but you're actually the one entering it in. When you have a lot of people that are logging in, it can cause a lot of issues.
To reinforce that, what Adam just said, if you have multiple people logging in at one time trying to make changes to the same account, it could just lock you up and you not get anything. So we'd have to get that fixed. So one person needs to register everyone at one time. Under no circumstance should individuals go in and register. The pack needs to take care of registering their pack. Any other questions?
I will mention just real quick on updating your profile. Nate, can you go in to show people how they can manage their profile real quick?
Yep. So when you're here, when you log in, you'll see this, and we're going to manage profile here, and then you'll update your information here, and this is right here. The important information is the primary contact. That's how we send emails out. So whoever is listed in that primary contact field is who gets our emails.
Yeah. And then can you show about the group, about how to get a lot of questions about people that want to move somebody off of their group or add to, and how to update t-shirt sizes, things like that.
Yep. So you come in here on the home tab again, manage my group. Let's say that I'm no longer a scout. You would just click on me and hit delete. It's not going to let me do it probably because I've already registered, but you would just delete them there. And just the same way you need to add someone, we'll add Adam Moore. Let's just say that he's 12 19 1999, male, grade, second, shirt size, youth large, emergency contact information. You can go ahead and put that stuff in there, and then you'll be set, and then hit complete, and it'll show him up here. And whenever you're ready to register him, he's set with that. When you add people to your roster and manage your group, you do not have to check that out. It automatically makes those changes. Checking out is only when you're modifying the event and making changes in the event. So you don't have to worry about being in registration in the event to make changes to your group prior to the date.
Good deal. And we do ask, as you go through, it'll save that shirt size from previous years. Please go through and update those, because we use the shirt sizes that you put in here to make our order. So we don't want something, a shirt size, to come back wrong for you guys and having to swap that out. And hopefully we have some too. Biggest thing is to make sure you get those shirt sizes accurately put in there. And Chris, you're exactly right. Make this a den activity or a pack activity to work with your group, your pack, to decide their sessions, especially for Weeblos and Arrow of Lights, and to get all of the accurate information. So once you arrive to camp on June 16th, it'll be smooth sailing for you for the rest of the week. All right. Anything else on registration there, guys? Okay, we're gonna. Oh,
I'm good.
Go ahead. Okay, cool. Stop sharing that. Perfect. Another thing to mention is that you can continue to add scouts at any time. If you are 2 days before you arrive to camp and you have another scout that wants to join, by all means, get in contact with us. Our emails are scrolling below. Call us at camp, and we'll be happy to work with you on getting them settled in. The only thing that may come down to it is we may not have a t-shirt available at the time, but we'll work towards making those things happen. Also to mention that normally in a normal year, or years previous, I guess we should say, you guys could go in and register yourself for this event. And we've asked that you can pre-register for the event just to give us a heads up. Yep, we're planning to come. we're planning to bring 12 people, 20 people, something to that nature. And normally, though, when you went in and registered, it'll ask for campsites. So right now, we've got about 22 packs that have told us that they are 100% coming. And one of the things that I forgot to put in there was a request for campsites. So if you're one of the 22 that have already registered, many of you know who you are, shoot me an email. My email is below of your top 3 campsite preferences. You can also go back into Tentaroo and do this, but I will go in and add those in for you so you won't have to worry about it. The way the campsite process works is we do our best to get you your first preference, but we like to rotate through. And May Smitherman, our Cub Resident Camp official director, will make those selections on who gets what campsite. Whether it's an Adirondack or a tent campsite, she will make all of those decisions. And so we will make those as we get closer to Cub Resident Camp, and we will notify you once those selections have been officially made, and it will reflect into your Tentaroo account. So please be sure to watch that for your campsites. At this point, I'm going to toss it over to Adam Moore real quick just to talk about the fee structure and how that works, and deadlines and things like that, just so you have a good understanding.
Sure, happy to do that. Let's see if I can share my screen as well. Possibly. Okay. So there we go. Hunter, is that working?
Yep.
Awesome. So when you go into the Leader's Guide for Cub Resident Camp, you can come down here and you'll see this gray box that says the registration process at a big long glance. And it has our email address up here, registration@ravenob.com. If you need some help or you have a question about this or that, please feel free to email us. We man that email address year round, and we may take a day or so to get back to you, but we'll be sure to do that. So here it lays out for you. Do this before April 25th. And it wants you to get your pack count information and the $50 per youth scout to be paid. So, you can pay online, which is what we prefer, either by e-check or credit card. You can also pay at the council office. If you live nearby, you can stop by and pay by check or credit card or call in your payment. And if you're an Old Hickory Council pack, you can use your pack account. If you have any remaining funds in your pack account at the office, then you are welcome to use that. You just have to call the office and let them know, and they will pull that money out, and we will apply that credit to your account on Tentaroo. And we can't emphasize enough these t-shirt sizes, that it is important for youth and adults to have accurate sizes in there. So even though your scouts may be preloaded in there from previous years, make sure that that t-shirt size is going to fit, because 2 years ago, they might have been a youth small, but now they're a youth large. And we need to know that so that we can make an accurate order. But like this says and like Hunter mentioned, with your pack count, if you tell us, in early April or later this month that you're going to bring 15 cubs to your event or to this event, and you have 2 or 3 more that you want to add on later on, that is not a big deal. We can certainly make that work, and we can get them added in. And for a while, you will be able to go in and add them in yourselves. So then we get down here to this next block. Do this before May 23rd. And this is where you submit your final registration payment. And this says the $100 final payment. That's actually $105 because the price of camp went up $5 based on this Leader's Guide. And we'll try to get an updated one out for you. And so if you have brand new scouts, then that would be $155. This is not a late fee. This is just simply they did not have a deposit in at this point. So you're just going to pay the full amount right here. And you'll get that paid. And we have a same fee for Old Hickory Council Cub Scouts and for Cubs from other councils as well. So your additional scouts may be added after this date until 1 week out of camp. Again, we're very flexible. If it is, 2 or 3 days before and you've got somebody who might have just joined or they changed their mind and now they'd like to attend, please email us or call us. We'll be happy to work with you and make sure that scout gets registered. We have a mantra at Raven Knob to where we don't leave a scout behind. So, and then there's the $75 fee for the adult, which is that 80 now, Hunter, is that right?
Still 75.
Still 75, good. And so one adult attends free with a minimum of 5 scouts. So if you bring at least 5 youth, you get one adult free. Now that does not mean that if you bring 10, you get 2 adults free. And if you bring 15, you get 3. To get the 1 free adult, you just have to have the minimum of 5 scouts. And this does not include your den chief. Again, in terms of the registration, the den chief counts as an adult, but that doesn't contribute towards the youth that you're bringing to get to that 5, okay? And then we can make some of these final revisions and get your unit roster and everything so that you're all squared away before you get to camp. And again, if something happens right before and you've got to make some changes, then just give us a call and we'll be happy to work with you, or send us an email and we'll make it happen. And then the things to do before you actually get to camp, or right when you arrive, as a matter of fact. The swim check form is a great thing. So if your scouts plan to participate in any sort of water-based activity, they do have to have a swim check. Some packs will have their swim checks done prior, and some will get them done at camp. Either way works for us, but there's a form that is on our website that you can use. There is an opportunity on Sunday when you arrive, or is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday that you guys are showing up this year. So on Wednesday, when you arrive, you'll have the opportunity for a pack photo, and you can pay for that separately with a check, or we can charge you on your Tentaroo account for your final balance. And then we'll have your unit roster, and then of course the outdoor program permission form. So if you go to the Raven Knob website, it'll have these forms that are all right here for you, available for download. And so if you click that, the first one is the outdoor parental release form. We'll need one of these for all participants, youth and adult. Anybody who is on the property has to have one of these outdoor parental release forms. And then there's your photo order and your swim check form that are all right there, and a special diet form if you have dietary needs. When it comes to the dietary needs, we would love to know that as soon as possible, like in the June 1st area, so we can let our dining hall know and we can make orders based off of that. But that's really the gist of the payment process. But again, we'll be flexible with you. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please reach out.
Thank you, Adam. And again, especially when adding scouts, we've had scouts that have literally started a new Cub pack here in the Old Hickory Council on a Sunday and had scouts roll in on Wednesday to Cub Resident Camp. So we are extremely flexible with that and want scouts to get the opportunity to come to camp. That's why we're here, is to get these scouts in our program to enjoy being outside, being at Raven Knob, and all the activities that we can put on for them. So get them there. Don't worry about it if it's a little late. You call us and we'll make it happen, okay? I would like to mention, I've already mentioned May Smitherman, who is our Cub Resident Camp Director, and I will mention Donna Malden, who is our Cub Resident Camp Program Director. They help us set the program, run the program, and put together our what our staff will be doing. And so they'll be their contact information will be shared at a certain point as we get further down the road here. So just want to mention them and all the good work that they do to help us be prepared for this event. All righty. Let's see here. I think that's about it. Again, if anybody has any questions, be sure to throw those in the chat so we can answer those. And if you have questions after we're done, feel free to email myself or the registration team. My email and their email are circulating below. You can also reach myself by calling the Old Hickory Council Service Center here in Winston-Salem, or you can call camp as well, and you can get me through there. Other than that, we're very excited about having Cub Resident Camp again and being back on board and having it on the schedule. We've got a great program lined up. We're very excited about the pirate theme, And so make sure to share that with your Cub Scouts. We love to see all the pirates running around. You get you some hats and some eye patches, and
encourage them to bring some costumes. That'd be fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our staff will be dressed to the theme and enjoying it, so we hope you guys will as well. So that is it for Cub Resident Camp program walkthrough. We will be back here in about 25 minutes for the Scouts BSA Summer Camp walkthrough. So if you guys are sticking over for that or supposed to be joining for that one, just hang on for a little while. We will be launching that at 7 o'clock right here, same link. If you want to view this again, don't worry. Just go back and find the link or search on YouTube. You can find this at any point in time for viewing pleasure. Or if you missed something or want to see the walkthrough again, come back and view it at any point in time. All
It'll
right.
be available on YouTube once our session with the Scouts BSA are finished, and then it takes a second to kind of upload. But later tonight, it should be on YouTube available for you to watch.
Yep. So be sure to share that with other leaders. Again, if you have questions, can't urge enough, feel free to reach out. Also, if you have yet to sign up and you're viewing with us, be sure to head over to the website, ravenknob.com, and you can fill out the pre-registration form so we can go ahead and get you guys in the book. So looking forward to it, and we'll see all of you on June 16th at Raven Knob. Thank you. All righty. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Scouts BSA Summer Camp Program walkthrough. We appreciate everybody joining us here this evening, here at 7 o'clock. Just to mention, if you have any questions throughout our program, please put those in the chat bar. You have to be logged into YouTube to put those in. If you don't want to do that, feel free to send an email to registration@ravenknob.com, and we will answer all of the questions live here that we get. Of course, if you have questions afterwards or think of something later on, you can email myself or registration, and we will be happy to take care of that for you. All righty. So welcome, and we've got a couple of updates for you. We're going to go through some of the programs, new programs and changes to programs that we have. We're going to dive into the Tentaroo registration system, and also we are going to talk about a little bit about COVID-19, some policies and procedures. So stay tuned with us. We'll probably be here just about an hour and hopefully be wrapped up pretty quickly, so we're not going to keep you too long. Just to mention that this video will automatically upload to YouTube. So stay tuned for that in case you want to go back and watch it again, or you've missed something and want to watch the registration walkthrough, things like that. So be sure to tune back in and view it. It'll automatically upload shortly after we are done. So anyways, so just a couple of things. We're going to dive right into it. Talking a little bit about the program. First, I want to I want to show you guys the Raven Knob website really quick to be able to access a few of these things. So I'm going to share it here. The first thing that I want to show you guys just on the website is how to find the leader's guide. So if you go to the registration tab, the first thing that pops up is leader guide and forum. So if you click on that, you can access the leader's guide, as it is the first thing that pops up there. So be sure to click on that for all the information on summer camp, details about all the programs, and you can also use our Raven Knob website to find a lot of those details as well. Just to mention a couple of things, couple of key dates that are coming up. Currently, you are able to access your Tentaroo account to update your unit count information and pay a $150 deposit per scout. You currently do not have to pay a deposit for leaders, just the scouts, in preparation for next Monday at 8 a.m. The session registration portal in Tentaroo will open up for scouts. So to be able to register, you must have that $150 per scout paid. That $150 must equal the correct amount based off of your unit count. So if you had, real quick, if you had 10 scouts listed in your unit count and it's $150 a piece, you must have had paid $1,500 to register for those. So let's say, for instance, you only got 5 scouts, but you know you have 10 coming, but you've got 5 scouts worth of payments in. You'll need to reduce your unit count to be able to access the session portal for that. So that is very key, and we'll talk more about that and some key things to watch out for, including the little add $50 mark that a lot of people will see on registration morning. So we want to make sure everybody is prepared and ready to rock and roll for when those sessions open up, as things do tend to fill up quickly. So we want to indicate we're not going to read the leader's guide. You guys can check that out, and if you have any questions on things, you can feel free to reach out. Biggest thing we want to get to you is any updates and changes for 2021 to help you guys along. So the first thing I do want to mention is cooking merit badge. It is still listed in the leader's guide, but out of precaution, working with our health and safety team, our admin team, we did not deem it as safe as we possibly could to operate that for 2021. We know that's a big merit badge with a lot of scouts like to take that, but we have, out of precaution, decided not to offer cooking merit badge. The second thing I want to talk about is the ATV program. It is getting a whole lot of questions on what's going on there. On the ravenknob.com website, you can access an ATV tab underneath programs, and at the very bottom there, you can see ATV. So doesn't look like it's going to pull up for us again. But anyways, this right here has a lot of the details of what the ATV program will include. Though this program is still new to us, we will still have some more updates coming, and we'll send those to the scouts and the leadership of those that get into the program. One of the things that is required is a training before you arrive. This is about a 2.5 hour training that's done online. If you scroll down, you can access the link there. We will hyperlink that, so when you click on it, it'll take you straight to it. But a couple of FAQs as well. Biggest thing, one of the questions I've gotten here recently is, can I bring my own ATV? And the answer is no. National requires the ATVs to be owned or leased by the Old Hickory Council and Camp Raven Knob. And then a couple of other ones. If you want to bring your own helmet, gloves, goggles, you're more than welcome to. It just must meet those must be DOT approved. But we do provide the safety gear anyways. But if you want to bring your own, that is fine. One of the things we've decided on as far as how the session will work, we will have 8 spaces available for scouts for the ATV merit badge. 3 scouts can be from the ages of 14 to 15, and 5 scouts can be ages 16 to 17. The reason we have that broken up is that North Carolina law requires or states that everybody under the age of 16 can ride, can't ride a ATV larger than a 90 cc. So the 14 and 15-year-olds will be riding a 90 cc, while the 16 and 17-year-olds will be riding a 200 cc. So we hope that makes sense to you. We will have more. The reason for the difference between the two is we will have more ATVs for the 16 and 17-year-olds. My apologies. So that is the reason why. And I'm just going to mention this here, and we will reiterate this later on. We were offering 2 sessions of this. They are 3 hours long, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. These will fill up extremely quick, and you may have scouts that cannot get these merit badges. And so I indicated that in an email that went out yesterday, is you need to have backup merit badges, especially if you have scouts that want to get in this. This is going to fill up very quickly. You may get 1 scout in here. You may get no scouts in here, but it will fill up quick for both the morning and afternoon sessions for the entire summer. I would like to mention, though, if you're very interested in the ATV program, we will be coming out with a year-round ATV program that will be offered several times during the off-season as a weekend event from scouts, both in council and out of council can participate in. So if you don't get in this summer, don't worry. There'll be more opportunities during the off-season for your scouts to enjoy this program and get to cruise through the backcountry of Raven Knob. All right, so be sure to check this out. The 2-hour training mentioned is listed there. Please do not have your scouts take this training until they are confirmed in the merit badge, in the session. Do not have them take this for no reason. We will be sure to send out a message to the units that are able to get in this session of anything else that they will need and when they should start taking this. All right, so be sure to check that out. The next thing we want to mention is the Rampage program, which you can access again on the programs tab down towards the bottom is Rampage, which is our new high adventure program. Some of you may remember when we offered this back in the day, and we have brought it back. It's been about 8 years since we offered our Rampage program. We're very, very excited to bring it back, and we're getting a lot of interest. So one of the things we've added in the past few days is a daily itinerary. Again, this is subject to change based off of weather and different procedures, policies. COVID can change this schedule. This right here is the basic schedule that we will operate. Folks will have the opportunity that sign up for this merit badge will get to leave Raven Knob on Sunday and head to our outpost facility in Independence, Virginia. That's located on the New River up there. They will be gone from Sunday to Tuesday evening, and then they will be back in camp Tuesday evening to grab a shower, hang out at the trading post, whatever need be. So that way they can be ready for Wednesday morning when we get up and go climb at Pilot Mountain over in the other part of Surrey County. Once they are done there, they will be able to hang out for campfire, and then later that evening they will depart after campfire to head back to the Rampage facility in Independence. At that point, they will be gone on a overnight backpacking trip at Grayson Highlands. If you've never had the opportunity to backpack or hike at Grayson Highlands, I promise you will not be disappointed. It is one of the most beautiful places. This picture really doesn't do justice. One of the most beautiful places on the Appalachian Trail and on the East Coast for backpacking and hiking. You'll have the opportunity to see some wild horses. There are several wild horses in the Virginia Highlands, and hike on the Appalachian Trail. All righty. So those are the two things there. We do predict both the ATV program and Rampage to both fill up quickly. So make sure you get your scouts in there as quickly as you can, have the deposits paid. Again, and we apologize if sessions fill up, and we will be actually enacting a wait list program if things do fill up, to where if somebody were to cancel or back out, your scout could be added to the wait list to get that program. Just to answer this question, I'm not sure if Adam's answering that. If a scout gets into the ATV program but does not take the online class for some reason, will they be restricted from the class or be treated like a partial? John, to answer that question, I'm just going to broadcast that real quick. They will not be allowed to take the course unless they have this done prior to camp. They must have it done prior to arrival at camp, because we just simply do not have time during the week for them to get that done, and it must be done before they take the safety part of the class, which will start first thing on Monday. So good question there, and I appreciate that one because it does need to be mentioned. So make sure that's done, and trust me, we will annoy you if you get signed up for these for that ATV program to get those trainings done. We will make sure that you have ample opportunity, but scouts will not be able to participate unless they have these trainings completed before they arrive. All righty. At this point, I'm going to turn it over. I want to actually introduce the folks with us this evening. I forgot to do that earlier. We've got with us Adam Moore, our Assistant Camp Director and Registrar, Ash Stimke, our Program Director, and Nate Todd, our Registrar, Tentaroo expert on board. And before I turn it over to Ash, the fee for Rampage is $30. That is paid when you make your final payment. That is not paid a part of the deposit process. That is just paid before you arrive to camp. So those fees, any additional fees for any sessions, like a basketry, leather work, Rampage ATVs, those get added in, and they will need to be paid before arrival to camp. So it does not take effect to your deposit or to sign up for the sessions. All right, we've got a few more program updates. I'm going to turn it over to Ash Stimke, our Program Director, to answer those.
All right, hello everybody. I'd like to just kind of run through a few things for our program, some of the highlights of what we're offering this summer. In addition to lots of merit badges, I specifically want to highlight some of the programs we're offering that are not merit badge programs specifically. So looking back over here at our website, over on the program tab, there's a whole lot of information on our website about everything we offer at Raven Knob. I encourage you to kind of explore our website and see what we have to offer there. Completely opposite of high adventure here, I want to start by talking about our first year camper program. We call this Raven Scouts here at Raven Knob. And here's the page for that has some information about who should take the session and has some fun photos and things like that. But specifically, I want to highlight that we offer two primary programs in the Raven Scouts area. The first is what we just call Raven Scouts, which is offered in the mornings, and Senior Raven Scouts, which is offered for part of the afternoons. These are both programs that are geared towards younger age scouts, particularly those where maybe it's their first summer at camp that still need to work on a lot of rank advancement requirements and not so much merit badges yet. The Raven Scouts morning session, as mentioned here, focuses mostly on Scout, Tenderfoot, and second class, whereas our Senior Raven Scouts session in the afternoon focuses on requirements for first class. In the Leader's Guide, there's not a specific list of requirements that will be completed there. That does kind of change from time to time. But on each of these individual pages on our website, we have information about that. So currently, this is the Leader's Guide actually refers you to this website page to find that. It's 3 hours in the morning, and here are the specific list of requirements for those different ranks that get covered throughout the week in the Raven Scout session. And there will be a similar thing over here on the Senior Raven Scouts page. There's a list of all the different things. First class, look at all those people having fun. So that's sort of our first year program. Back to High Adventure for a moment here. Over under our program tab, I want to also just direct you over to the Outback program in general. Outback is our term for all of our high adventure activities, and so they're kind of listed over here, particularly including climbing merit badge. There's mountain biking and cycling merit badge session, plus Rampage, of course, the ATV program. And I also want to talk about Cripple Creek, or what was formerly called our Mountain Man program. Cripple Creek is sort of a backwoods, backcountry living experience, kind of out away from the main part of camp. The participants kind of go back there for the entire week with our staff, and kind of recreate mid-19th century living. They cook for themselves throughout the week. There's no electricity, and they just kind of enjoy the backcountry. One of the best parts of the Mountain Man program, the Cripple Creek experience as well, is that there's actually a lot of merit badges that get kind of covered throughout the week. And I think that's worth highlighting here as well, that over the course of the week in the Cripple Creek program, the participants will get to complete most or all of the requirements for leatherwork, metalwork, rifle shooting, woodworking, and also notably cooking. We're not offering cooking merit badge in our regular merit badge program, as Hunter mentioned a moment ago, due to the time restraints and COVID safety protocols and all of that. It's a different experience back in Cripple Creek because it's a smaller group and they also are cooking all of their meals for themselves all week. There's more of an opportunity there for them to complete those requirements. In previous years, our Cripple Creek program has been limited to scouts who are age 14 and older. This year, to kind of open it up to a wider crew, we are allowing scouts who are age 13 to participate in that program. So it used to be a 14 thing, but now we're saying if you're 13, that's probably okay for you to go there as well. I highly encourage people to do it. It's a great backwoods experience. Adults are, of course, welcome to participate in the program as well. If you or one of your other assistant scoutmasters would love to go spend a week in the actual wilderness as opposed to Camp Raven Knob, then they're welcome to do that and enjoy the backwoods, no electricity, off the grid living that's there. So there's some more information on this website about what to bring and things like that. And here's some photos of our facilities. There's the Cripple Creek Village way out there. So moving on down to some other stuff, a couple of our merit badges at Raven Knob have what we would call prerequisite requirements. These are things that we can't necessarily complete during the week at camp. One example I'd like to go to of these would be, for example, in Reptile and Amphibian Study merit badge, where the scouts have to keep a reptile for 3 months. Clearly, we can't do that in 1 week at camp. So there's a few things like that where there are some requirements that won't be covered for various merit badges at camp. We will post a list of those specific ones to the website by April 1st, so that you know, kind of going in to the summer, what things will or will not be completed at camp. We call them prerequisites because we do encourage all the scouts to start working on those parts of the requirements prior to camp. If your scout comes to camp and shows their instructor proof that they did that requirement already, then we can go ahead and put that in our system and they'll get a complete merit badge at the end of the week. On the other hand, if the scout doesn't have proof of that to show their merit badge counselor, their advancement report at the end of the week will show just a partial on their merit badge, because clearly we can't award all of the merit badge requirements. They haven't done them all that week at camp. I want to talk a little bit now about some of our Twilight activities. That's also available here on our program tab. Over here, the tab that says Twilight Activities, this particular tab has our previous schedule. This is kind of what we did for our Twilight activities in 2020. Every night of the week at Raven Knob is a great night to be in camp. There's lots going on each night, lots of activities after supper in the evenings, everything from Vesper services to free swimming and handicraft time, and troops can go to the shooting ranges and open climbing on Thursday and things like that. This schedule is very much still tentative right now, where there's a few updates we'll need to make to it prior to 2021, kind of as COVID things change and as we kind of figure all this out. But for the most part, the activities that are listed on here will be happening at least at some point. These are all hyperlinked as well. So if you want to learn more about our Vesper services, you can click there. And it'll tell you more about our camp chaplain and kind of how those things work. Look at all those people having fun at Vespers. There's also a whole menu over here of Twilight activities where you can find out what happens at Open Nature, Open Handicrafts, or at Free Swim, and any of these other things. So plenty of things to learn about there for the evenings. One thing I want to mention about some of our Twilight activities is that In the Trail to Eagle area, the Scouts taking Citizenship in the Nation merit badge generally take a field trip one night of the week. We usually have them, because one of the requirements for merit badge is to visit a historical site. There's actually a site just about 5 minutes away from camp that's on the National List of Historic Places. And we usually take the Scouts there to show them that house and kind of the history that's there. So we are planning to continue doing that this summer. One other Twilight activity worth mentioning as well is over in the Scoutcraft area. And I'm going to kind of, you can find that over on the Scoutcraft page as well. But the Scouts that take Wilderness Survival Merit Badge, one of the requirements there is to kind of spend a night in the wilderness, as the merit badge name suggests, kind of in a structure that they build themselves and things like that. We usually do that on Thursday nights. In the past, sometimes we have our camping merit badge participants go with that as well. But for this summer, particularly to maintain social distancing and other things like that, our Scoutcraft overnighter is going to be specifically for the wilderness survival participants, and that'll be on Thursday nights this summer. The last thing I want to highlight as far as some of our other programs besides merit badges, also available here on our program list, are adult training sessions. I've been on staff for a number of years and have taught several of these over the years, and one of my favorite things about camp is getting to work with adults sometimes and all the fun things we have for them to do throughout the week. Similarly to the Twilight activities, we've got a little schedule on here of our different adult training programs. And I encourage you to kind of browse our website and think about doing some training while you're at camp for the week. There are several available in aquatics, everything from safe swim defense and safety afloat, sort of those policy courses, aquatic supervision, which is a little more hands-on, and then of course lifeguarding certification. Those are all available for adults throughout the week. If you'd like to be a climbing instructor, we've got level 1 qualification offered for that. Plus there's a CPR training, introduction to outdoor leader skills, which I know a lot of assistant scoutmasters need to take. This is kind of when they're going to be offered and where they are, and if there's a fee over there. We're of course willing and able to answer questions about that as you have them, but those are the primary adult training opportunities that we offer, and you can go to their individual pages over there on the menu to read more about those. So that's, and one more thing I'll say about leader training is that just like the Scouts sign up for sessions throughout the week for their merit badges and everything else, adults also can sign up for these sessions in advance on Tentaroo. That kind of does help us plan for numbers and things like that, but it's also not a requirement. We know that sometimes adults decide to go or not go at the last minute or whatever it might be. All of these adult training sessions, in addition to encouraging you to sign up in advance, you are also more than welcome to just show up when they start. So look at the schedule on there and say, ooh, you know, it's Monday after lunch. I think I'm going to go and start my introduction to outdoor leader skills today. There's a schedule for that will be provided. In fact, you can probably look at it on there as well. But so you're welcome to just show up to these trainings at the beginning of them and kind of get started with those. But we also like it when you sign up in advance so we know to expect you. So that's about all I've got on some of our programs. And once again, our website is going to be your best friend here. The Leader's Guide has lots of information about specifics of what to expect in merit badges, but also most of that information is also available here in the program tab on our website. So that's about what I got, and I think I'll turn it back over to Hunter.
Thank you, Ash, and great job covering those things. Of course, we still have a lot of other program items that you can go check out, our traditional merit badges and nature handicrafts, whatever it be. We just want to highlight some of these specialty programs that we get a lot of questions about and answer those up front. Last program note here is our whitewater rafting trip that we have available on Tuesdays. This trip is designed for both leaders and Scouts to take advantage of, to go up to the New River Gorge in West Virginia. It's a little bit of a drive. It's about 2 hours from our camp to the Whitewater site. We partner with ACE. ACE is the premier whitewater trip guide on the New River in West Virginia, and so we're very excited to be partnered with them. One of the key things that we will be sending out to those that sign up is a waiver that must be signed by a parent if Scouts attend. So keep an eye out for that. Scouts will and leaders will get the chance to go through all three Class 3, 4, and 5 class rapids on the New River Gorge, which is, as many of you know, one of the best spots for whitewater rafting on the East Coast. So we're very excited to offer that. Scouts will head out very early that morning, about 6:45, 7 that morning, to get on the river at 10, arrive at Ace Adventures at 9 a.m., and then get on the water at 10. And they will be gone for the entirety of the day. It is a long trip. You get on the water at 10, and you'll have lunch. A part of the trip, you'll just kind of pull the raft over to the side, have lunch, and then continue rafting on. And so you'll be gone the entire day. Scouts gone that day will miss merit badge sessions or other sessions that they sign up for. We would encourage those, just as a side note, and a definitely something that we want to send out to everybody and will. If you are in the ATV, the Mountain Man program, or the Rampage program, we do not encourage you to sign up for the whitewater trip. The reason for this is there is very crucial information. Rampage wouldn't work because you're already going to be on a river that day. And then Mountain Man, it takes a whole lot to get people in and out of that program, to get them there on time. We can make it work with the Mountain Man program, but I will tell you that we urge them not. And then with the ATV program, we need those folks to stay in there, as there are required trainings that week for that. Same thing goes for BSA lifeguard as well. Required trainings that day. So those are kind of the few that we do not encourage attend the whitewater trip on Tuesday, because it is extremely difficult, will be extremely difficult to make anything up. So we'll try to keep an eye on that, but try to keep an eye on that for yourself as you register your scouts. The additional cost for that is $125, and you can pay, that'll be payable on the Tentaroo system. So you guys will see that pop up. All righty. The last thing I'm going to mention before I turn it over to Nate about our registration system is the trading post. We are currently in the process of updating a lot of our trading post items, getting some cool stuff in there so you guys can go home with all sorts of cool memorabilia. We encourage you to have your scouts bring between $80 and $100 with them to spend on snacks and slush puppies and ice cream, but also to buy some of the cool gear. So we do have an online trading post where they can buy stuff currently, and we will be having new stuff come in. This is a lot of stuff from previous years, but we will have some brand new items coming fresh to you. Actually, we're hoping to get some of it in before camp starts, so maybe you can buy it before you arrive. So if anybody has any suggestions, I will say this, if anybody has any suggestions of things that you would like to see on our trading post, feel free to email myself at hunter.day@ravennob.com, and we'll see about getting those for sale in the trading post. I love having those suggestions on what people like to see down there. All righty, but we do recommend $80 to $100 to bring with the Scout. We do take all major credit cards and Apple Pay, Android Pay, or whatever that's called. We do take those contactless pay options. So be sure to relay that back to your parents as well. Alrighty. And then, and prepaid debit cards. That is a good note. Some folks don't like to send cash with their kid because they may lose it or keeping up with change. But you can buy a prepaid debit card, like a Visa card that you can give somebody for Christmas or their birthday. You can buy that, and also buy ones that can be reloadable. So if your scout spends a little too much money on the first part of the week, you can call that in and up at another $20 or $50 so they can continue to have plenty of slush puppies for the rest of the week. Anyways, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Nate Todd. He's going to explain what's going on March 15th, 8 a.m., and how to register for merit badges and the best way to get you prepared for that. So, Nate, all you.
All right. Thanks, Hunter. Appreciate it. So on March 15th, we can begin a session registration. Hunter, if you'll just keep the website here 1 second, I'll tell you when to go into the other tab. It's fine. So everyone that is coming to summer camp should have received information with their login credentials. So for Boy Scouts summer camp, Scouts BSA summer camp, we assign you to your week at camp. We also assign you to your campsite. And those will already be set up when you log into your account. So if you look in the top right corner of either ravennob.com or oldhickorycouncil.org, you'll see a login tab, and that will take you to the login page. So this is what you'll see on the login page when you log into your account. If you have attended with us in the past and you have new leadership, please do not create a new account because it will not have your information on it. If you're an Old Hickory Council troop or a troop from another council, we'll have already created it, so there's no need for you to create it. So just email us, Hunter, or registration team. The email address is on the bottom of your screen, and we'll get you your contact information. So when you log in, you'll see this. The first thing you'll see is the week you're assigned to camp. And then you'll see these tabs over here. So the first thing we'd ask you to do first time you log in is go to Manage Profile. Make sure everything is correct on this page. So this is where you could change your password if you wanted to. You could update your username if you needed to. Primary contact information, we ask that you make sure this is all correct because this email address under primary contact is who our emails go out to. So please just make sure you update that. So that's on the home area and hit Manage Profile. Now, ahead of March 15th, you can go ahead and also update your group. So any of the new scouts that have come into your unit, you can add those. Any ones that have moved on or got their eagles and moved out, you can remove those. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to Manage My Group. So this is where you would have, you would update your group. So we're just going to add a new one here. Rowdy Raven 12 2000, and he is, you don't have to put grade for camp, and then you just hit complete. All right, so you can go ahead and update all of your unit before March 15th. And you'll notice that it says March 15th, registration for individuals on March 15th at 8 a.m. So that is contingent on you have paid $150 per scout prior to March 15th at 8 a.m. The system won't allow you to register scouts if you've not paid that $150 payment. So if you have 10 scouts that are $150, it's looking for a $1,500 payment. If there's not a $1,500 payment, it's not going to allow you to register. So let's say you pay $1,400, but you say you're bringing, or $1,350, but you say you're bringing 10. It will allow you to register the 9 scouts, but you can't register the 10. So you would have to drop your unit count to 9, then push them through, which I'll explain when we get into the registration, before you could do that. So it's looking for $150 per scout only. Adults, it does not matter. So $150 per scout. So important things on a home tab, profile, and your group. So on March 15th, that is when session registration opens, and I'm going to walk you through what it will look like for you. But just to reiterate what Hunter said a minute ago, some of the sessions are going to fill up fast. ATV, probably Rampage, some other sessions that normally fill up fast. There's nothing, we've done everything we can to offer the maximum number of spots. But obviously with new programs, sometimes we're limited on supplies and items like that. So please understand, you can email us all you want to, but if it's full, it's full. You can go ahead and sign up for the wait list, and if everything comes open, it's full. It's all based on who just gets in there first. So it's that it says registration will open at March 15th at 2:01 at 8 a.m. So that's 8 a.m. Eastern time. But that's also based on, when that server 8 a.m. is. So if, your clock on the wall says 7:59, but the server says 7:58, and it's just a little bit off, when your clock hits 8 a.m. and it's not allowing you to enter, it's not because it's not working. It's because that server has not hit 8 a.m. yet. So just be cognizant of that. So, because in the past, we've had several people start emailing like a minute or so early, like it's not allowing me in, it's not allowing me to do anything because it's not started. So it automatically starts for all 6 weeks at the exact same time on March 15th, 8 a.m. So please don't send us emails and call us prior to that time because it's nothing we can do, because it's just based on how that system works. So I'm going to walk you really quickly through how you register on the 15th. So this is assuming you've already paid your $150 per scout fee. Obviously, this is a dummy account, so this is not going to have actual payments on it. So that's why it still shows that I'm owing. Since I have admin rights, I can just go and push it through, but you'll be required to have $150 per scout. So you're going to click on your week of camp. All right. First thing you're going to do is you're going to come down here. You'll see here's your financial summary. So it'll show any payments you've made. It'll say what your balance is. Here, if you needed to pull you an invoice, you can hit reports invoice and it'll show what you've paid. Where it shows registration, this is how many spots you have. So if you need to increase the number of spots, so let's say you decide to bring, instead of 2, you're going to bring 3, you hit manage. You're going to hit manage spots, add 2 more youth, hit next, hit next, hit next, and complete. And then there it's at. So you're set with that. Anytime you make changes, you'll see a red box appear. That means these changes have not been checked out. So it's important, just like with an Amazon cart, when you buy any items, your order doesn't get processed until you check out. So it's the same way with the registration system here. So you make changes or you add merit badges, they're going to show up in this cart. So you can either hit checkout here or in the top right corner, and then you hit place order and it'll say submitted, and that means they're locked in. Okay. We've had happen in the past. A lot of times what will happen is that a unit will go through and put in all their merit badges and forget to check out. And then they come back a day or so later and they're like, no, some of their scouts don't have any of the merit badges they wanted because those classes got full. And if it's setting in your cart, it is not locked in. So that's why we tell you to check out. So if you have, let's say you get in there and you want an ATV program, I would go register that one kid for ATV, check out, and then try to get that pushed through and then go back and register other kids. Because if you register that one kid and he's sitting in your cart with ATV and then you register another 20 kids, there's just about 0 chance that ATV is still going to be there when you get done with the rest of your 20 kids. So I would recommend, if you're trying to get one of those classes that'll probably fill up quick, ATV, Rampage, stuff like that, just do those kids first and then check out and then move on. Now here's another important Are we still there?
We're back now. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So there should only be one person per unit registering anyone. So please, whatever you do not give out your unit name and password to all your parents and having them try to log in all at the same time. It's just going to really mess things up. So do not do that. Only have one person in the troop registering scouts and adults. That is our recommendation. If the other stuff has happened, that's out of our hands, but we do not recommend that at all. So, all right. So now let's register a scout for a session. So first thing you're going to do, after you got your 150 payment in, you're set. We're going to come down here under registration. This shows your scout spots. You have 4 spots. It shows 0 of 4 registered. When you have everybody registered, this number of spots here should match here. So it would say 4 of 4 registered, 3 of 3 registered, 0 of 0 registered. So you're set. All right. So it will tell you in this yellow box, if you don't have that 150 per scout, it will tell you what you need to add and pay before you can check out. Now, here's a little trick. Okay. So let's say you pay $13.50, but then you decide to bring one more. All right. You can go ahead and tell your cart that you're going to add a $150 and then pay it when you check out everybody. So you can put up here in the top, all right, we're going to pay $150, but since this one's asking for $600, I'm going to put $600 in my cart and save it. Now it will allow you to register scouts, but you will have to pay that $600 at the end in order for those to go through. So The system will tell you what is missing if it's looking for 150 per scout. So there are 2 ways to get around that: is you can pay for that additional, or you can drop your unit count and register this for the number of seats you already have available, and then go back later. I just saw a note really quick from Matthew. It's 150 per scout base. Program fees, leader fees, everything else are handled final registration. So it's just 150 per scout. That's it. We don't ask for any additional fees for merit badges or anything like that. It's 150 per scout. If for some reason you do happen to have, it's happened in the past where we missed by accident turning off a fee requirement for that, and for a program, a merit badge, if you do run into that where it asks you, say, hey, for art, it's asking me to pay $7 right now to register this kid for art, shoot us an email. We apologize up front. We will try, and we will go remove that, and then you can proceed. But it's 150 per scout. All the other fees and all the leader fees and everything else is done at the very end. So, all right. So now we're going to add our first scout. So we're going to hit here. We're going to add youth. And these are all real people, so I'll just go through and be careful with their stuff. So we're going to click the first one, and then we're going to hit next. It will show up in red any additional items it needs. So it's going to ask us their gender, so we're going to hit next. And then here on this next tab, it's going to show you 4 spots available. So for if you're a youth, you just hit next. You don't have to do anything different. If you're an adult, it's going to show up 2 options. It'll say half week or full week. So you click whichever one you're coming. All right. And we're going to hit next. All right. So now here's where we're going to add our sessions. Now, an easy way to do this is search by session code, which is on your grid. So in the top right corner, you'll see a search our magnifying glass. So just click on that and type 003, and that'll show you your free session, or 951 communications. Okay. So you can search that way, or if you really want to, you can just go through and sort down. It's going to go based on numbers. So 0, 1, and it goes based on the last number. So it counts up. So if you notice here, 111, 21, it just counts up. Okay. So that's kind of how we do it. So let's go register for some classes. So first off, we're going to add nature. And then we're going to go into here and we're going to add environmental science. You'll see a request 13 years or older. So if the system asks it, any scout can take a merit badge at camp. There's some that we recommend for older scouts. So we can't tell the system that, hey, if we recommend this, but the leader wants it, then they can just take it anyway. So what we do in those situations, so let's say you have someone that's 12, they're coming this summer, and the system needs them to be 13 to allow them to register. Shoot Hunter or us an email, and then we will put them in there for you. Just leave them a blank. Just put them 2 free sessions or whatever, a free session for that merit badge you're requesting an admin override for, and then we'll put them in there for you. So that's kind of how it requests that, is that when it's asking for a specific age, it's just because that's based on our recommendations. And so we just ask that you do that. So, all right. And then we're going to do add option. All right. So that's a 2-hour session. So you'll notice it takes out session 3. All right. And then we're going to go down here and we're going to type in camping. And then we'll do first, we'll do archaeology. And then lastly, we're going to do free swim. All right. Now, if you want to add a photo for the scout, it'll show up here. All the other items will not. Those are for admin team only. All right. So then you'll see here's his items, and then you'll hit complete. Okay. You'll do this step for every scout that you have coming. So that's kind of how you'll do them. I'm just going to show you a really quick thing with the ATV. I know several people are probably going to request that. I thought I created a Rowdy Raven one. Did I not? Yeah, there he is. There's Rowdy. All right, so he's a youth. You'll notice here there's 2 sessions for the same merit badge. So there's an 851A and 851B. So 1851A, it says 14-15. So you have to be 14 or 15 years old to take that session. 851B is 16 to 17. You'll have to take, you have to be 16 or 17 if you want to take that session. So let's say 851A fills up quick. There's 3 slots available, and you see 1 left in B. Well, if your scout's not 16 or 17, we're going to remove them and put someone else in there. And that's not because we're just trying to be difficult. That's North Carolina law. So don't put your scout in a session that they're, especially with ATV program, that they can't take while they're at camp. Now, Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong here, but for ATV programs specifically, they have to be that age the day they arrive at camp. So it can't be that they turn 14 in the middle of the week and take ATV. They have to be 14 before they take that session. They have to be 16 before they take the 16 to 17-year-old, because it's based on that. Is that correct, Hunter?
That's correct. And also the same thing applies for our Rampage program as well. It's got to be 14 years old. So there's no real exceptions there. So
yep.
And BSA lifeguard has to be 15.
Yep. So just they have to be those ages. That's not anything we can like slide. Other classes like environmental science, any of that stuff, we can like, if they're 12 going on 13, and you say they can handle it, we'll put them in there. Those merit badges is not going to happen. We can't do it. So just wanted to tell you up front. If these get filled up, it'll ask you for a wait list, and you can put your name on the wait list. And if something comes open, we'll handle it. But just want you to see available ATV. That's why it's listed that way as 14, 15, or 16, 17, even though it's the same class code. It's because we have only a certain number of spots based on the number of ATVs we have. And if you are able to register your scout, only put them in the one they're actually at. So if a scout is 13 and they're not going to be 14 until Thursday of that week of camp, we'll take them out, and we'll check birthdays when you arrive on Sunday and get someone else in there. This is something we can't play with for liability reasons. All right, so that's about all I have for that. Let me get back to our cart. Okay, so once we've registered everybody, you'll see here it says there are changes in your cart. This is just a reminder. Always, if you see red, that means there's something you need to do. So you'll see red here. You'll see there's a green cart icon. That means there's stuff that we've made changes to our registration that's not been checked out. You'll also see the changes here to who still has changes made. So we're going to come up here to our cart, and we're going to hit checkout, and then we're going to hit place order. All right, and then you'll be set. I'm not placing the order right now because I don't want to take up spots for the actual merit badges. So we're going to leave that there. All right, so now Hunter, Adam, Ash, have I missed anything?
Again, like we did with the Cub, can you show how to manage my group?
Yep.
So we get a couple questions on that. And this is and this is also managing your group, like what names you have in there is a good way to be prepared to get in quickly. So
100%. So it's on your home tab. So you won't see anything from the bottom here. So it's on home tab. When you log in, you'll come to this and manage my group. This is where you'll update everyone's name. If you need to update a shirt size or anything, just go into the shirt. All right, he's a XL now. Save changes. All right, he's set, ready to go. Go back to home, manage my group, add anybody. If you need to delete somebody, let's say, for example, we want to delete Rowdy because he's just been a rowdy Raven. We just come in here and hit delete, and then you remove him. He's set.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Adam.
So March 15th, 8 a.m., that's when the system will go live. We check tonight. Everyone is set. All 6 weeks are set for 8 a.m. March 15th. You have to have $150 per scout paid to register them. So if you're going to register 10, system's looking for $1,500. If you're registering 1, it's looking for $150. but that has to be paid before it will allow you to register for sessions.
And I'm going to mention really quick, mail sometimes comes in a little slow. And if you put a check in the mail and it's not here Monday at 8 a.m., call me and let's talk. The only reason I say that is because we've had a few things recently come in a little bit more delayed than we anticipated. So if you do put a check in the mail, let us know to keep an eye out for it and give me a call. Also, you can use the e-check format on here, which you just need a check to plug in your information there, routing and account number, so you can do that online there, just as a little tidbit. But as checks have come in, we've only had a few come in so far. I plug those into the system, so the ones that have sent one in, you can see if it's came to the office and been cashed, as it will reflect in your account on Tentaroo. Greg, great question. If a scout came last year and they were on my list in the group, we just need to check. Yep. So if you had a scout that's come previous years, they will already be in my group. In fact, for as long as we've had Tentaroo, I think we're in the 5th or 6th year now of Tentaroo, you'll still have scouts in there. So you can go through and clean that up or add 2 new ones, but just need to make sure all their contact information is correct, shirt size, especially shirt size, because that is what we use to order shirts. And we like it when those are correct in there. So great question for the crowd. Adam, do you have any suggestions on registration, or are you pretty much good?
So I'll just emphasize a couple of things. One is that every unit that has signed up with us already has an account that we have created. So if you do not have the username and password for that account, please email one of those email addresses that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and we can get that to you very soon. Please do not make your own. If you try to make your own account for your unit or as an individual, when you log in on Monday morning on the 15th to plug in your sessions, your summer camp event will not be there because we have set up everything under the account that we have created for your unit. And if you have been with us in the past, it is the same account that you've had. And if you need us to confirm that, we can. But once you log in, you should be able to see, if you're coming week 1, it'll say week 1, 2021, and have your information there. I'll emphasize again that having the names of the individuals in your group, especially for your youth, will save you a lot of time come Monday morning when you're plugging in your sessions, especially if you have a very large unit. So there's just kind of some tricks of the trade here that we want you to know, but we're happy to help you and be understanding with us. We've never offered the ATV program before. This is our first year with that. We know that it's going to fill up very quickly, and so we ask for your flexibility. We're going to activate that waiting list feature, but there is no way for us to just add another spot because we just don't have the ATVs to accommodate that, and we're having to follow both BSA policy and North Carolina state law in our operation of that program. So we appreciate your flexibility there. But if there's anything we can do, we're happy to help you. Just let us know. You can call the Council Service Center and talk to Hunter, or email one of those emails and we'll get to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. And a couple of more things that we want to touch on. Of course, we get a lot of COVID questions. What's going on with COVID? How are you adjusting to COVID-19? And before we jump in there, if we want to answer that question, contact information, yes, some of that is optional. We will have contact information for scouts on their health form that we keep and things like that. But it is helpful if you want to add that stuff in there for later on. If somebody were to need to access it, it could be there for us. So either way. So let's talk about COVID-19 really quick. We get a lot of questions about what's going on with COVID. How are we doing this? How are we doing that? Luckily, we had a pretty good run at it last summer in 2020 with trying to mitigate the situation and do the best we can to prevent any spread of COVID-19. Luckily, last summer, we were able to operate five weeks of summer camp with about 2,000 participants and 100 staff on board through those 5 weeks. We were very fortunate to not have any COVID cases that have come through camp, at least to our knowledge. And so we were very fortunate for that, but we did a whole lot to try to prevent that from happening. So for you to understand and know what's going on and how we're going to try to battle COVID-19, you can find that tab on the ravennob.com site, and there's a couple of options. So biggest thing that we want you guys to look at is the policies and procedures tab. This shows you guys exactly what we are doing in camp to try to eliminate the situation of the spread of COVID. Watch the video there. It explains what we do at the dining hall, at check-in, and various other places around camp. We will be requiring masks unless there is a tremendous turn in COVID-19 between now and when summer camp begins. We will be requiring masks to be worn in buildings, in sessions, and anytime you're in close proximity with people. We understand walking up a hill and socially distant, you don't need that mask on, but we do encourage you to have it on at all times if possible. So we know they're uncomfortable. We know we don't like them just like everybody else, but we've got to do what we can to try to eliminate any situation that is before us. We've got a great relationship with our local health department, and we'll begin again working with them on a routine basis leading up to summer camp, adjusting any policies and procedures that need to be made. Anything can change at any point in time. Luckily, the national trend right now has COVID going down, and we hope to continue to see that. We are very close to seeing COVID cases to where they were when we operated last summer. And so we really hope to be in that range or at a further down range by the time camp starts. But I am not a health professional, and so I cannot adequately put that in there. So I can't make that judgment because I work at Boy Scout camp and I have no experience making those calls, but we've got to do what we can. So check all of this information, goes through literally step by step before you arrive, once you arrive, what we are doing in each situation, whether it's a merit badge, whether it's at the dining hall, shooting sports. It goes through everything that you really need to know. And if you have other questions, let us know because we are happy to answer these, and we'll do anything we can to make your week at camp as seamless as possible, but also as safe as possible as well. We've got a tremendous staff. We hired over 80% retention of staff from 2020, people that know and understand the policy that we had in place. So they'll be revved up and ready to go to help sanitize and get your needs as we prepare to battle with COVID-19 again this summer. And again, if you have parents that have questions, feel free to have them reach out to myself. I talk with parents, with grandparents, and with leaders all day long about what we do or will be doing to try to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We do have a latest updates tab. Be sure to check that every once in a while. If we update something on here, we're going to email you guys anyways. But just as a note, you can check this at any point in time. You can see right here where we made an update on the 25th about we've updated our procedures for 2021, and out of precaution, we have eliminated the cookie merit badge for the summer. So be sure to take a look at these things. And if there's any questions, any suggestions that you have, we are all ears because we want to make this a safe and fun camp for both our scouts and our leaders. All right. And the last thing I have on my list here is talking about transportation, our plane and train transportation. We have several units that take advantage of Amtrak or an airplane to arrive at camp. We'll be in contact with you guys as soon as you get us details and things like that so we can arrange for transportation. We do offer these. We get a lot of troops from the Florida area that come up on the train, on the Amtrak, and that does cost $40 for a round trip pickup from the Raleigh Amtrak station to camp and back. If you are planning to consider this option, or you are going to do the plane or train option, please let us know so we can go ahead and plan for that. We know of a couple folks that have indicated that they would like to come on the train or a plane, and so we just want to touch base with you to ensure that we are going to get there in a timely manner to pick you up and get you back on time. So It's a very neat option, and if you are considering, please let us know, and I'll be happy to talk with you through all the details. All righty. I'm not seeing too many more questions come in, Adam. So with that, anything across the board, Ash, Adam, Nate, that we need to discuss? All right. Well, I will take that as a good thing. And one of the things we are going to try to do, whether it's just myself or our team here, is have essentially once a month potentially doing one of these live streams just to shoot out as much information as we can. I know we ramble sometimes in this, but it's for a good cause. We want you to stress certain things and to understand the importance behind it. And sometimes writing it out or an email just doesn't do justice, and a phone call or a webinar can explain some of that. So we're going to try to do these once a month, and we will continue to send out little FAQ blasts to keep you up to date. I get a lot of questions every day, and we know that those questions are very similar with other people's questions. So we want to get that information to you as quickly as you can before it comes up with somebody else, to try to reduce the amount of phone calls and to keep you guys as informed as possible. But with that, we've got a great summer ahead. We've got so many units signed up. We've got 6 great weeks planned. We are very excited to get back in camp and bust it wide open and put on an amazing program for yourself and your scouts. We've got a tremendous staff lined up. Currently, we're at 118 staff members, and all of them are just tremendous and ready to go for the summer. We do have just a few very small positions, kind of niche positions that are available. So if we hire leaders and 15-year-olds and up, even people that are retired. If you're interested in coming to work at camp this summer, fill out an application online. We've got just a few positions still available. But anyways, we're excited to have you. Please let us know if you have any questions. Our emails are below. Watch this video later on. It'll be in the same link. And we will see you starting week 1, June 20th, 2021, and running through the summer. So very excited, guys, and we'll see you then. Thank you.